Which generation is truly the best? Today I'm gonna find that out by rating each generation in all of these categories. And I was always curious, what was it actually like if I just spawned in the 1950s? So for the categories today, we got the slang, the pop culture, haircuts, fashion, and popular products and toys. The greatest generation, 1920s. Cuts, mid. What is this? Bro, you look like Arthur from Big Nate. But this one's not too bad though. He's got that little Mabu-ass cut going. Most of the cuts were pretty generic, but some of them were pretty calm. Drip, high. People would literally walk around in suits. Like, suits are just prime drip. Like, it is you at your drippiest. Slang, low. Alright, these slang words gotta go, man. Like, they should just be abolished from society. Like, what the hell does G Willikers and the bee's knees even mean? It sounds like it's within Aubrey Graham's dictionary. Most of the slang throughout that time just became really corny. Pop culture, high. It was called the Roaring 20s for a reason. Like, they had Babe Ruth, one hell of a baseball player, and they had the one dude making the short films where he wouldn't even say a single word, and that shit was still hitting. You had jazz music pulling up. Products, low. Compared to other generations, what did they even have for entertainment? Nothing. Like, what did they do? Just throw rocks? Like, what was there genuinely to do? I don't think anybody would want to relive this shit. We're giving it a 1 out of 10. All that shit was that dog ass back then. Obviously, the technology's not gonna hold up, so we gotta give it low. Silent generation, 1940s. Cuts, low. Alright, it somehow got worse than the 1920s. If I was repping this cut, it would look like I'm balding already. And then this is crazy, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. If I pulled up to the function looking like this, I'm not getting any bitches. Drip, low. Again, why did you need to add suspenders to your suit? Like, keep that goddamn jacket on, bro. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, we do not need the suspenders. You look like Nielsen with them bitches on. And apparently, some people wore their pants so high like they are goddamn Steve Urkel. What? Why? You gotta let them hang, bro. Let them sag. Not too much, though, to the point where you're seeing your underwear. Like, I wouldn't just get crowned for repping the Urkel fit. I would legitimately get tomatoes thrown at me if I stepped out the crib looking like this. The nipple pants, that's the reason why it's in low. Slang, mid. It improved. This one actually improved. They actually have decent ones, such as cooking with gas. And then we got Mrs. like Geezer. What? Then you got funny ass ones like Chrome Dome. So I guess they would just be called Mr. Clean Chrome Dome. They had more weird ones like Above My Pay Grade and Gobbledygook. Pop culture, low. They didn't really have much going on for them in the 1940s because, well, there kind of was a war going on. So we're just gonna move on to products. And we're giving it low to mid. And then what did they do? Listen to fireside chats? Like, I don't know. That sounds pretty boring to me. When I looked up toys in the 1940s, there weren't any creepy ass dolls awaiting for me. So I think that's a good thing. I found the picture with the Glock, bro. Like, are kids carrying Glocks in the 1940s? What the fuck? Well, that would make for some pretty fire cops and robbers games. There was a whole ass world war going on. -5 out of 10. Baby boomers, 1950s to 60s. Cuts. Gutter. Not even low. These cuts are so trash, bro. What is this cyborg-ass cut? With that, you literally look like you got a square head. Like, you built like Jeff. I don't know who is walking around with that. And then for the men's cuts, bro's got the lamb chop bowl cut combo. Who even let bro out the house? Me, personally, I would stay the hell inside with that cut. I couldn't even rank this one low. It was just such an experimental time for haircuts. And same with fashion. Gutter. We are going to the circus with this one. Like, where is the matching, bro? Red and yellow do not match. And then I don't even know how to explain this fit. This is not calm at all. You got the green socks, too. Like, these are the Wiggles before the Wiggles. And you will never catch me dead wearing those pants, either. The 20s was doing good with fashion. Now, it was just going downhill over here. And then the hippie stuff, don't think I forgot about that. Trash. Like, it's all garbage. Slang, low. They called a good-looking woman a fox. It sucked. And they came up with square, so we don't gotta say anymore. Pop culture, good. They had Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Frank Sinatra, and we can't forget the Beatles. And they had Batman, so you know what? That's good enough for me. Inventions/products, high. They came up with 911. We gotta give it high. Like, we can't give it any lower than that. And they came up with bubble wrap. All right, this would have had me gone as a kid. Gen X, 1980s. Cuts, mid. There's so many hits and misses at the same time. Hair got very frizzy around this time, so I bet you all can only imagine. Fits, low to mid. All right, people started to get their shit together, but there were still some really vibrant fits that didn't need to be there. When I think of 80s prime fits, I think of the mullet marauder from Fortnite. There was still some weirdness to the drip, but we're getting there. Slang will give it good. There's some weird ones like eat my shorts, but it's better than anything that I'm seeing today. I would have gave it high, but they had shit like gag me with the spoon. They had some good ones like bitchin', chill. Then you got hella, big whoop. It's better than B there or B squared. So you know what? W. Pop culture. Very high. Do I gotta sit here and explain at 8:03 p.m.? So many banger songs and movies in this era. The GOAT of basketball himself was on the court. Like, this is when stuff really started turning up for pop culture. And there's no way a human being is spawned on the planet and doesn't know who Michael Jackson is. Products. Decent. The Pet Rock. Dude, how were you dumb enough to buy this thing? But they had like MP3 players or whatever the hell it is. The cassette thingy. I don't know what it's called. But seriously, how do you buy a Pet Rock and be satisfied with your purchase? But for the most part, video games started dropping in the 80s, so it was a pretty good time. Like, there was just a certain vibe to the 80s that you just cannot get in any other era. Technology started emerging. There was like arcades and all that stuff. So you know what? We're gonna have to give it a 7 out of 10. It seemed like a very good era to grow up in. Heat. Millennials. 1990s to early 2000s. And the cuts around that time, you know, we'll give it very high. I mean, there were some misses, like the Minecraft block on your head. Will Smith. Will Smith, bro. What is this? This shit is not hitting. I'm sorry. And then we get the macaroni penguin ass haircut. Other than those two, I didn't really see anything that bad. Fashion. High. This is when fashion actually started to become good. Except for the saggy ass shorts in the 2000s. Like, them bitches were long as hell for no reason. But other than that, it's just nice calm fits. Slang. Mid. I mean, there's some that are like really, really corny, like "what's up?" Bro, no one is saying "what's up" with Z's. And then we have whatever. Apparently that's slang, and my bad, which everyone says. Like, there's no way you don't say those two. You know what? I'm gonna change my answer. We're moving it up to good. Pop culture. Very high. There were so many banger TV shows that dropped in the 90s, like SpongeBob, Franklin. Okay, never mind. That's not a banger. And then Dexter's Lab was pretty heat. Rap music started to get really popular in the 90s. But for the products, man, very high, all right? Pokemon. Like, everybody was raving over that shit. The news was saying it was, quote-unquote, dangerous to the youth to play Pokemon. That shit was going crazy. That was the one thing I remember. And the 90s had so many classic toys like the Rubik's Cube, the finger traps, the goddamn tech decks. Another banger era to grow up in. 10 out of 10. The 2010s, you were either a late millennial or a Gen Z kid growing up. I mean, there's no way none of you were growing up in the 2010s, unless y'all are like legitimately fetuses. The cut's holding up. I would say so. Except for this emo-ass cut, bro. This has gotta go. Oh my god. Please get this off my screen. 2010s, 2000s had some pretty good fits. Aside from the Gucci, Louis Vuitton Supreme era, that was pretty trash. Other than that, all right, people are, for the most part, putting that shit on. 2010 slang. I'd say it fell off. All right, I'm not gonna hold you. On fleek, lit. And then you also had a lot of tech slang dropping as well, so who doesn't use tech slang? Like, seriously? Like, nobody is gonna type out "if you know, you know," unless you're a nerd trying to be grammatically correct. I don't know. Pop culture. Best pop culture. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Like, do I gonna sit here and name all these artists, celebrities, classic movies? I know the slang was kind of trash. It already aged like shit, but look, this other stuff makes up for it. And if you play any song that was from the 2010s, that was playing frequently on the radio, it's a banger. Now for products, again, very high. The internet started surging. I don't know if that was a mistake or if it was a good thing, but stay away from the dark corners. And the iPhone just got the fattest upgrade of all time in the 2010s. Phones just kept getting better and better throughout the years. And for social media, it was literally just free reign in the 2010s. Like, people just said shit with no consequence. People had the most out-of-pocket tweets on Twitter in like 2012, and they wouldn't get quote tweeted and canceled for it. 2020s to present day, you're either a late Gen Z kid or a Gen Alpha kid if you're growing up around this time. So cuts, we're gonna score it very high. I mean, everyone is getting faded up now. People got the cleanest cuts. Barbers are basically professionals. People take haircuts very serious. If your cut gets fucked up, you are getting clowned for the remaining time until it grows. Fashion. Alright, I'd give it good. I mean, some people got the most ridiculous fits, but the average fit is pretty calm. And I'd say as Gen Z, I think we got shoe game on lock. Except for the big red boots. Slang, mid. Bro, there's some vile-ass words. There's some decent ones. There's some pretty good ones. But you will never catch me saying edging in my whole life. Late Gen Z, early Gen Alpha is selling with the slang, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. Now, any slang word is gonna be used to death and ruined by social media. Pop culture. You know what? I'll say it's decent. I'd say 2021 by far is the best year. New wave of content creators, whole new wave of music. Just so many people on the come up during that time. A lot of it felt really new. Products. Now, the decade isn't over yet, so I'm not gonna say anything. But for Gen Alpha, pre-W or pre-L, nobody in Gen Alpha has entered their prime yet. So now what you've all been waiting for, which is the best generation to live in my opinion? Mid-2000s, 2010s. I don't care. That shit's solos. And yeah, go watch that video on the end screen. Go. Watch it. Watch it now.